Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video I want to talk to you again. I want to make some comments on my previous video about Kundalini, Chi, Chakras, etc. Yeah? So from the forum, hi Brendan. I was checking your Kundalini video and something did not feel right in your explanation. Thanks. I'm probably misunderstanding something, so please help me get it right. You said about Kundalini, Chi, etc., paraphrasing, does it cook your eggs? Does it get your groceries? Does it make you smarter? Does it have a function? From the rest of the talk, this is put against direct consciousness, but Peter says pretty often that having direct consciousness has no impact on everyday life, so suppose it doesn't cook your eggs, etc. So why does it matter that Kundalini doesn't do that either? A little bit later you talk about how if you're telling people about universal energy coiled in your spine, they'll create an experience consistent with that. What is different about telling people about direct consciousness? Won't they, in the same way, create an experience consistent with that? Cool. Thank you for writing in. Vlad, thanks. And because I didn't feel the best about that video in the sense that I think my main, well anyway, here I'll go through this and then say some things. So you said that Kundalini doesn't cook your eggs, or does it get you groceries, does it make you smarter, or Chi, or chakras, or whatever. And I guess where I was coming from with that is it looks to me like people put a lot of, they take Kundalini and make it, I don't know. No, let's see. What's really true here? It seems to me that people take, I think the basic is I just have a gripe where people talk about Chi as if it's some universal, amazing thing and get locked into a fantasy about that then they think the fantasy is reality when it's not. And then they're stuck with the fantasy. So my attempt with that, talking about Kundalini and Chi and chakras and saying, does it cook your eggs? Does it give you anything? Just to try to drive home, like, hello, what does it actually do? What is the actual function? Minus the fantasy. If it is taken on this, I'm blanketing a whole domain of, I don't know, what I consider to be spiritual foo-foo, a whole domain, okay, just not picking on any particular, just that whole fantasy aspect, trying to bring it more into the real. What is the function? For real, not like for fantasy. Now, if something is taken on like a fantasy, and then I feel good about the fantasy, and the fantasy is itself not real, then I'm committed to something that's not real, and then then that's the function of that. Does that make sense? So if in my experience I've got something going on that I've taken on like a fantasy, and then I pretend like that fantasy is a reality, now I'm lying about that. I'm not actually with something real. And that's how that functions. But now if I am indeed into Chi or some such, or energy, and I really do it, then I could also consider, well, what is the actual function, or what does it function, what good is it? Now, maybe, like Peter has said, or he mentioned in one of his stories, it's like he used to try to drop flies with Chi, and he said, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't drop a fly. So then I might write off the Chi as something that, that doesn't work for anything, it's not functional, because I can't drop a fly, but as he found out, that's also incorrect, because there are other functions or other skills and abilities that generating chi allows one to have. Like a feeling sense of objects outside the body, perhaps a different energy or feeling in the body, or being able to change states of mind even, or generate states of mind that are different than normal, that perhaps allow for some functional process. So then that is functional. See? So I think my invitation there was, with my rant about the eggs, is to invite the listener, you the listener, to openly consider, well, is there a function for real? Not is there a function for fantasy, something that feeds me and has me pretend like I'm an excellent martial artist because I'm into chi or something like that. For example, you see, like in the martial domain, there are fantasies about, if I do chi and if I practice Tai Chi, I'll be a good fighter. Not the case. Just look at the guy in China who's going around challenging the traditional martial arts teachers and beating the crap out of them. And these are people that they believe in their stuff, but when you stack up a fantasy and a belief to the reality, it doesn't cut the mustard. Yeah? So that was kind of where I was coming from there. It's like trying to rip off the fantasies, invite the listener to question what is the function, if there is any. I'm not saying one way or another, okay? In terms of Kundalini and Chi and chakras. Now, then I talk about, in the video, I'm putting that against direct consciousness. Yeah, well, in terms of direct consciousness, none of it matters. Nothing matters. And yeah, so why does it matter that Kundalini doesn't do that either? Let's see, what are you saying? But Peter says pretty often that having direct consciousness has no impact on everyday life. So I suppose it doesn't cook eggs, etc. Correct. Direct consciousness does not cook eggs. Cannot, will not, ever. There are no eggs. There's no cooking either. There's also no reality. What we consider reality, this experience of reality. So why does it matter that Kundalini doesn't do that either? It doesn't matter that Kundalini doesn't do that, if that helps. A little bit later, you talk about how if you're telling people about universal energy coiled around your spine, they will create an experience consistent with that. It's true. What's different about telling people about direct consciousness? Won't they, in the same way, create an experience consistent with that? They will, and they will be wrong. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have to say there. Yes, people, so again, something that I could say about that, so in workshops that I'm helping to facilitate, there often are times when that is one of my biggest challenges, is when we're working in the domain of, even though I say the word domain, that doesn't fit at all, direct consciousness of what is absolutely true. You are totally correct. People always will make up something about that. Even if I say the word absolute consciousness, even if, you see, absolute, you're going to make something up about that. Consciousness, you will make something up about that. And that, from my perspective, that is a danger, which is to say it is a trap. Because then people, again, make up something about what I've said and cling to the something they've made up as if it's the truth when it's not. This is perhaps a concise way of talking about the point I was trying to make in my previous video. It is that aspect of fantasizing about what is, pretending like the fantasy is real, and clinging to that as if it's something special when it's not. Yeah? If you want something real, if you don't want something real, then by all means, have the fantasy, cling to it, pretend like it's real when it's not. This is possible, and this is the This is, as far as I can tell, the standard. That's what most people do. You know, they base what they're doing in these domains around fantasy, not around something more real, something more grounded, substantial, etc. Okay? So that is an addition and perhaps a revision to my previous video. That is my previous video could probably be summed up in that one point where, you know, I'm inviting the listener, to, if you want something real, then you have to go for what's real. Now, what is that? I don't know. You'll have to find that out. If you want to go for what's true, you've got to get what's true. What is that? You figure it out. Because also, at the end of the day, if I tell you what's true to the best of my ability, and you make up something about what I've said that isn't what I've said, now you're off on, you see, something not true or something not real. And you won't know it. All right, so that's what I was up to in the previous video. Thanks for writing in. This is Brendan Lee with theBrendanLee.com in support of consciousness and skill worldwide. If you want to check out a workshop, check the links in the description. They're really powerful. Otherwise, till next time, keep writing me in the forum. I appreciate that because it helps me generate content for you. Thanks for all your YouTube comments. And till next time, take care.